How you doing, Daz? Are you all right?
More good. Finn, yeah, how's things?
Yes, people. It's yours and truly, Laser LFC. And we have a special panel of guests today. Theo Woods, Klopp TV, Stephen Somerville. Stephen, your mic is muted. I'll have to message him. We have Daz TV, Darren, Welford TV, Finn, and it's Finners. And we have JK1892. There's another guy, Ada. It's going to be his first time. I'm going to have to add him back. He's disappeared. This is one of my Birmingham friends, Ada. Welcome to the channel, guys.
Can you see
Yeah,
me?
we can hear you fine, Ada. If you just sort out your camera, that's perfect. Lovely. So, yes, guys, Liverpool have beaten Aston Villa by 2-1. Late goal coming from Trent Alexander-Arnold. Liverpool find themselves back in the top 4 horns. They currently sit 4th place with 51 points on goal difference to West Ham. Guys, what are your thoughts on the performance and getting that win? We're going to start with Finners.
Oh, mate, absolutely pleasure. Like, first half performance was exceptional. We was playing with sharpness. It was basically don't do what you did against Madrid. Do what you know you can do. Start with the intensity. Start with a high tempo. Take the ball to the defense and just go at them. And we saw it from the get-go. I mean, it was a great decision to have dropped Mane. I'm super happy because it looked like Jota, Salah, Firmino. The link-up play was exceptional. I feel like having Fabinho and CDM just providing that cover just in front of the back two enabled, obviously, Robbo, who I will say had an incredible start of the game. Like, he was bombing up and down the wing alongside Trent, and it was just it's exceptional.
Full of energy, that guy is, man.
A lot of us have been worried. We're absolutely worried about kind of Robbo, especially talking about fatigue issues and whatnot. But yeah, breath of fresh air this game.
Yeah. Chelsea
1-0. Good stuff. So,
guys, Chelsea just scored, sorry to say.
Yeah, well, we still got a lot to do in regard to the top 4. I know a lot of us are happy. We needed that result to keep pushing on, you know, because we've got another game against Real Madrid. We've got 2 chances to play Champions League football next season. For me, that was a massive result. A lot of people were talking about we need a performance. For me, I didn't care one bit how we're going to get them 3 points, and we got the job done. I'm going to certainly sleep better tonight, but then I'm going to wake up just thinking about Real Madrid. Darren, what are your thoughts? How are you feeling, bro?
Absolutely delighted. All's well, ends well. I had a couple of beers last night, so I got up this morning, a little bit of a jelly head. I went, I got the say it done. I freshened up. I says, if the Reds can only make the day better, or worse, of course. And at half time going in, that Firmino decision, awful. I was fuming. I was saying, seeing this again. But I kept saying, and I have that optimism and positive belief that we can only get better. We'll show more aggression. We'll show more energy, intensity. That has to be a response, because once you've Jurgen Klopp there, it doesn't matter how good or bad things are. Once you have a man like Jurgen Klopp there, things will work out. You know what I mean? And it's seeming now in the league today. I say it was a good performance, and others and other teams said, well, I didn't think it was a great performance. And I don't mean a performance in the typical Liverpool manner, as in it's rock and roll football, it's on the back foot, it's intensity, it's energetic. It was a performance in that was really good. That there was fight, there was grit, there was passion, there was attitude. We were getting stuck in, we were rolling the sleeves up, we were going to be expansive and be creative. And you're seeing that, boy. We had a lot of corners, we had a lot of shots and goal, we had a lot more possession. And I mean, another day, if that goal goes, if Firmino's goal has stood, we could have come out on a different side in the second half and show more energy and enthusiasm. But them lads are going in at half time thinking, we've been here before, that's a kick in the teeth in some way. Do you know what I mean? Because they're saying, what are we doing wrong here? It was a good first half, it was much better, we changed things around. Is there someone looking over us and this is something we've done years ago? You know, it's awful, but the lads, to be fair to them, momentous, majestic, marvellous magic, does his stuff, momentous Mo, League's top goal scorer, Liverpool's top goal scorer, and then he's back, isn't he? Trent, right off your pedal, comes back. All the criticism he would have had on playing for England and the national team and the culture there and the criticism, you've seen it with so many players in the past. I mean, he needs to just move away from that. His concentration is Liverpool. He scouts. He does what he does best. His performance was scout, and he gets that win. Our latest of late goals at the Cop end as well, by the way. At Gerrard, this.
Imagine if the fans were there as well. It would have
unbelievable. I mean, look. I mean, he's 22, 23. He has the world at his feet. He's the type of player that, as a fullback, everyone wants to be a Trent Alexander-Arnold. Do you know what I mean? Everybody wants to be that modern-day fullback, wants to be the one getting forward. There's no one like him. Like, if you look at fullback now, you might get someone better defensively than him, but you're not going to get someone better with going forward and in possession and that quick thinking. So, you know, look, what I'm getting at is it was all well, ends well today. It was a great day, great way to finish it off, and I hope you are all good too, lads. And obviously, you're all happy with the result, but great, big statement.
Nice one, Daz. Good thoughts, man. We're going to move on to Stephen. Thanks for making an appearance on the channel, Stephen. How you doing, bro?
Absolutely buzzing, because you know Trent is one of us. Trent is a Scouser. He knows what it means to play for this wonderful football club, and I just knew there would be a goal coming after. I think at one point Aston Villa they hit the post. They hit the post, but they nearly scored. And I thought, oh my god, how lucky we got there. But you just sense a goal coming at any time, even if we were tracking back all the time. It felt like to me that this win was crucial, to say the least. I know we have the Champions League on Wednesday night, but that's going to be. I think today was more important to get the win to still be in the top four, because I don't want us going be in the Europa League next season as a risk, but because we just don't want that. That's not Liverpool standards. But today, I thought today was just one of them big booster days, and for me, I'm just really happy now. I'm just going to enjoy the night overall. But I just love Trent for what as he is.
Just a quick one before we move on to the next guy. Well, we're going to start with Ada. Welcome to the channel, guys. This is his first time on the live stream. So big up to yourself, Ada. This is my homeboy from Birmingham. So Ada, what was your thoughts when Mane was excluded from the team? He didn't make the team. So what was your thoughts when you seen that front three starting?
You know,
talk to me, bro.
Personally, in my opinion, right, I probably would have played Firmino, if I'm being totally honest. Sorry, not Firmino. I would have played
Bit of technical difficulties there. I think he's having problems with his connection, guys. What we're going to do, we're going to move on to the next person. We're going to move on to Theo. What were your thoughts, Theo, on seeing Mane not being included on the team sheet?
I mean, before getting into that, listen, I came on midweek after losing to Real with the Europa League theme tune, but now we've switched it up.
Yeah, I don't want to hear that again, Theo. That was bad up here, Theo. We don't do that stuff on this channel. We don't do Europa League on this channel.
We don't want to football.
Yeah, as the question was asked in that, what was your thoughts? Because there's been a lot of talk in the previous days saying it's about time Mane should be dropped. You know, he hasn't been performing up to the standards that we know he's capable of. What were your thoughts? Was you surprised, or were you thought it was the right thing to do, Theo?
I think I mentioned on Alad's watch along, I said I'm happy with it. I'm very happy that he got dropped. I mean, I love Mane. I think every Liverpool fan loves Mane, but I think every Liverpool fan also knows that he had to get dropped. He hasn't been performing up to scratch really at all. I mean, people say he had a strong start to the season, but even then, compared to last season, even that's not strong. I think Finn, as I was talking to you yesterday or something, and you were saying that he had something like 15% conversion rate for the season, and I think something popped up on the screen on Sky Sports saying that at home in 2021 we have like 0.9% conversion rate. Team at home.
It's been bad appalling.
Let's not forget that we took about 25 shots today, lads, and we scored 2 off the back of it. So.
And that's not good.
That's what I said. I was like, you know, when they scored, when Watkins scored, I was like, if you look at the amount of chances we've had that we should have scored and we haven't, and then they've had less than us, but they took it when they got it, and I was thinking it could go down to that at the end of the day, but luckily it didn't. And the thing I was really pleased about was Milner was playing, meaning that he takes the armband because he's a leader. Wijnaldum's not a leader. He's a hell of a player. We all know that, and he's a brilliant player, but he's not a leader. Milner is. He brings that cool head. I was really happy with the team. Really happy with performance. I mean, we definitely should have taken our chances, but I think most players had brilliant individual performances, and also like that link up between Firmino, Salah, and Mane, Firmino, Salah, and Jota, sorry, was working really well. So yeah.
Well, Theo, and as you're speaking about Milner being the captain today, you know, I've heard a few people talk about it. For me personally, this is going on to the other game, you know, against Real Madrid. I want to see him start as captain. I don't know what people's thoughts. We'll move on to that after we speak about this post-match discussion. We're going to get a few words from Klopp Talk TV. What are your thoughts?
Well, you know, I wasn't surprised to see Mane dropped. I think we all know that Mane's performances over the past season have been under par of what he's achieved over the past 3 years. So, but out of the performance, I think, you know, it wasn't the Liverpool way. Well, it wasn't in the sense that heavy metal football, you know, gegenpress, you know, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
It was but I felt the boys dealt about it in a much more professional way than the previous 6 games. I think when you look at the last 6 games, we weren't creating any chances. And this game was probably different to all the rest of the 6 games, because I'd much rather have create loads of chances and don't score any than not create any at all. And, you know, although we created a lot of chances, as Finn alluded to before, 25, I think it was, and still, you know, having that 0.9% conversion rate is obviously not great. But, you know, these are the performances and these are the games which you'll take the 3 points, you'll move on, and hopefully it helps you on the long run. So, look, I'm buzzing. Obviously, a late winner, we all love it at the Klopp end, but, you know, still a lot needs to be done, I think, if we really want to see Liverpool put a consistent run of form together between now and the end of the season and beyond, really.
Yeah, hang on a moment. Just give me a second. Yeah, we're going to quickly move on to Ada, then we're going to move on to Welford because he's going to shoot off shortly. How you doing, Ada?
Man, look well.
Quality. Ada, are you with us? Ada? You froze. It's not happening today, is it? All right, then we're going to move.
If the Wi-Fi doesn't cut out.
I think you're having some problems there, bro. Just chime in when you can. We're going to move on to Welford TV because Welford has to shoot up shortly. What's your take on the game? And what did you think? For me, Jota, okay, because I've been singing his praises. You've all seen me nicknaming him Jota and stuff like that. I didn't really think he had a good game today on the left, for me personally. It was the right thing to do, you know, taking Mane out of the limelight, giving him a break and that. But what did you think of his performance in the first half, Jota?
It was all right. He's very good on the ball. He's like taking people on and can actually do it. Whereas Mane nowadays just loses the ball. And like we had the discussion last week, didn't we? Me and Hunts were strongly passionate that he should be dropped, and he was, and it was the right move. He came on, was awful again, so bad. Mane, it's very worrying. And for me, the performance from Firmino today is giving Mane a bit of room for his money as well. If Mane doesn't start improving, the front three we've seen today could be starting week in, week out, and I feel I'd be comfortable with that. I think Firmino today was very, very good. Not getting overhyped about him because this is best performance we've seen in like 3 months, so it is still worrying, but it's better to see. And Jota obviously wasn't better on the left, but I feel like if you do play all 4 of them, I think Jota and Firmino have to play down the middle because Jota does shine a lot more down the middle. But overall, the performance wasn't too good, I don't think. I think it was all right. I feel like you've still got to remember that's a Villa team that nearly got relegated last year. Yeah, they're playing well this season. They've not got the best player, one of the best players in England, in my opinion, Jack Grealish. He's not there. They've not really got much creativity. They played a very defensive midfield as well, and I feel like we should be beating them a lot more comfortably. And
agreed.
I think in a couple of group chats that I'm in, a lot of people were pointing out that game's puts ice on the cake, that we need a striker. If you have a Haaland or whoever it even is, even Ollie Watkins, if Ollie Watkins in a Liverpool shirt that game, he probably would have had a hat-trick for us in the first 20 minutes. So I don't want to down there on today. I just feel like I just don't want to see people going around saying like, oh, we're going to beat Madrid and we're going to do this, because I still don't feel comfortable for Madrid. I feel like it's still going to be a struggle, but I just feel like it's an improvement. It definitely is. Don't get me wrong. It's good to see a better performance, but it's just not. It's still not good enough. It still should be better. If you get what I mean, we should be beating them comfortably. I don't mean 6-0. Just mean we should have put them to bed.
We made hard work of it. We had the chances, as Finn has
exactly.
said.
We just exactly.
And that early chance as well, Salah had. You know, the Salah and you can see the anxiety was there from the boys. You know, when you think about it, it would have been playing in their heads. 6 defeats at Anfield,
Yeah,
you know, and
yeah.
we couldn't have made the 7 today. So for me, it wasn't about a performance. I stated that many
Yeah,
times
yeah.
before. It was just
We
getting
need,
the
yeah, I
job
agree.
done. Because
Yeah,
it's all
definitely.
good
Yeah.
giving a good performance against a team like Aston Villa. They're Premier League standard, you know, the relegation material, let's face it. You know, they're having a good season by their standards. It's not a normal season, but it's not going to count for anything if we don't turn it on against Real Madrid. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I
But
do. I agree. I agree what you said that.
3 points.
I agree what you said about it didn't need to be a world class performance. I totally agree, and we needed to win today. We've done that, which I'm happy. But I just think in general, people just need to realise that that was not a good enough performance to be facing Aston Villa. They put us under pressure sometimes, and again, I'm a 60 word. I'm still not confident for Madrid because if you look at that, but then if you put a Real Madrid team in that game today, we would have been beat by them today. The chances
that would
Villa
have
had,
been way more clinical.
exactly. I think Madrid, if you play that against Madrid, it's going to be tough. But I'm happy. I'm obviously, of course, happy. It puts us in a great position for the league and everything. But I just don't want to get over myself and get too hyped because it's happened so many times this year and we've seen it fall
Thanks for
down
that,
like that. So.
I'm going to move on to Joe K. He hasn't had a piece yet before. We move on to, we're going to read out some of the comments. Big up to LFC Red Forever. If you haven't subscribed, do that, guys. He's a YouTuber. Puts out some amazing content. Palace are all apparently the 2-0 down now. Big up to Irma B. Thanks for joining us. What has come out of these top 4 is more than possible now. It most certainly is. We're still in the shout. I think Ada's having problems. What he was trying to say regarding Mane, because Firmino's been poor over recent times. I would have started Mane over him, but I totally understand why he was dropped. I think most of us agree with that. He's having connection problems. He's going to try and get onto the laptop and join us. So, Joe K, JK1892.
Yes, boss.
How you doing, bro? You feeling
Yeah,
good,
man. Yeah, it's massive limbs. You know, that was an incredible goal by Trent. You know, I was saying it on Ryan LFC. Obviously, you know, we've all said we're pretty much the same thing summed up pretty well. You know, the first half was for me, it was stronger than the second. We had more control. The only thing missing from that first half was the clinical edge that we've lacked the whole season. It's been very annoying. And that first half summed up our whole season. We play okay, we create a bit of chances, and we don't really score. And then we obviously have a goal ruled out by VAR, which is what we've had so many times this season. And then obviously Villa have like 2 chances, and one of them's a goal through a mistake. Could you have picked the first half that sums up our season more? Probably not. Second half, we did very well to come back. I was going to leave it all positive today because it's an incredible result. It's the Liverpool goals, grinding out victories, getting the wins, last minute winners, which is what you love to see. Absolute limbs. Celebrations are mad. I don't know about you guys, but I was celebrating loads.
You know, what's the point of watching football if your team wins and you can't get happy? There's some people saying, "Oh, why are you getting gassed and all that nonsense?"
I'm gonna get gassed in the moment.
I don't mean like gas. But some people are saying, "Oh, you've only beat a low Villa team." For me, you've got to be happy. Our team's won.
Last minute winner. Imagine not if you don't have any emotion. If you have no emotion, what's the point of watching the football?
Those are coming from rival fans, haters.
And it was a worldie. It was a worldie as well. Do you know what I mean? It was a worldie to win any game. If that's in any we've had big home.
Yeah, we're not just
defeats.
Celebrating for like the win. We're celebrating for Trent because he's been in the limelight so much and in front of Gareth Southgate and the amount of criticism he's got. I'm happy that now he's going to get some pressure off his shoulders and his limbs. Like celebrations are more than just the goal, and it keeps us in It does keep us in the top 4. If this was a draw today, it'd be 100% over. At the moment, I'm still a bit 50-50. No,
it's back on, lads. It's back on.
It's so split. Like I'm just gonna go down the middle. I'm not gonna say it is or it isn't. But
I've been saying for a long time, there's not 4 better teams in this league. I don't believe West Ham. I don't believe Everton, Spurs are anywhere near us. I really don't. I think we've had our factors this season. We've had our genuine excuses, and when you factor all that in, for us to finish in the top 4 and to get even to the last day, who knows, could be a semis of a European Cup. That's achievements. You know what I mean? That's levels when you're looking at how things went. You lose 6 late games at home in a row. You don't score. It's relegation form. I mean, if we finish in the top 4, lads, that's party time. You know what I mean? I'm on the champers, champagne showers all around here.
I'm gonna now. I think we're gonna have to speak about someone today. You know, we've sort of shirked away from it. I'm gonna get this comment up. Gents, what do you all think of Alisson's ball handling for the goal?
Very poor.
So, Speaking of Alisson, what do you think of his performances recently? I know he's had tragic circumstances with his father passing away. Anybody want to chime in first with this? Because for me, he hasn't looked right.
Happy to.
Yeah.
I was actually talking about this with Mr. Conroy Hunter. Please go over and give him a subscribe.
Yeah, good buddy.
Class views on football. Straight talker as well, and he doesn't pull punches when it comes to serious matters. And I actually sat and had a quick chat with him about the decline of or the possible decline of Alisson. Obviously, what we do need to factor in is obviously tragic circumstances in Alisson's life. He's not really actually been called upon to the Brazil squad because their international fixtures were actually abandoned due to the COVID situation. Yeah. He's also had a recurring wrist injury. Not many people tend to focus on Alisson's injury because he has been predominantly available for us. But you got to remember when we played the European Super Cup, it was actually Adrian that actuly rescued our penalty shootout. So, there's a lot of factors of Alisson, but there's an amazing website that people can go and take a look at. It's called fbref.com. It shows you a full range of statistics and stuff like that. And it is definitely apparent that over the seasons that Alisson has actually been with us, he is on a gentle decline. He is actually on a gentle decline, and his save percentage is actually declining by 1 to 2% each season. And I think this season his save percentage is about 71%, and I think to be considered an elite goalkeeper in the top 5 goalkeepers in the world is a minimum 75% over a full season where you have to be fully available. And I did say this to Conroy. I said that against, was it City or Leicester, that he was near posted. And I said,
City.
Ordinarily, you would. It was the City game, wasn't it? You would never, ever in your wildest dreams. Imagine the first season that Alisson signed for us from Roma. He was an absolute brick wall, Oliver Kahn-esque. He would close down the angles and make himself big. And since he's been injured this season, and then obviously the tragic circumstances in January, he's come off the back end of that, and he did take some time out. But
you see what you're saying there, Phineas? Imagine we had the Alisson. Remember that save he made against Napoli? That's the Alisson we're talking about.
Example.
And if we had this Alisson what we got now, there's no way we win that Champions League.
Well, let me just give context, right? For context, the last two goals that Alisson's conceded was this goal today, which he should have saved, and then the third goal that was scored by Vinicius. And he was also, so they nutmegged Nat Phillips. So Nat Phillips was nutmegged, and then it kind of was like fumbled through Alisson's hands. So, I mean, them 2 goals would have been absolutely crucial. Imagine he had stopped them 2 goals. What sort of impact it would have had on the tempo of today's game. And not only the fact today's game, if it was 2-1 going into the next leg, if he had saved that, tipped it round the post, it would have given us a far better fighting chance of actually being in that fixture. And I think you can't overlook it. Goalkeepers' performances. I mean, Liverpool fans all know how terrible it was. And I think we lost out on some of the elite competitions with Mignolet in goal. And I think obviously we got that replacement, and we saw alongside the purchase of Virgil van Dijk how well that rubbed up the team and how it reflected in the team's performances. And obviously with Virgil being missing, I don't know how much emphasis that puts on Alisson, or how much pressure that puts on Alisson, but you should still be conducting yourself.
I think that's the big thing, Finn. I think my stamp on that is, and look, you're not wrong either. It's a good opinion. I think all this season, every Liverpool player, including the momentous Mo, who's league's top goal scorer and Liverpool's top scorer, they've all been below par. I think a big thing is when you talk about Trent being out of form, is not having that Van Dijk there. Like Van Dijk, since he's come in, a Rolls Royce, he's missed 1 late game since he came in until his injury at Everton. He has been absolutely levels and grades above everybody. He's definition of world class. You type in definition of world class, you're going to get Van Dijk on Google. He's just been, I think as well as that, it's a lot got to do with this season overall, but the world, COVID, no fans. And I know I sound like I'm making excuses in that sense, but Liverpool, Jurgen Klopp, we haven't been the best team, nowhere near the technical wise. We haven't the technical, but we've got the finals. We've won our first World Club Cup. We won a Champions League, a Premier League. All this is elite level. This is real heavy end stuff to win. Do you know what I mean? This is world class, and a big impact. I'd probably say 20-30% of what has happened there is because of the fans, that support, the fan parks, even before all this excitement, the buzz, with that aura no longer being there. I suppose when you start when records get broken for the worst, which has happened this season, it's hard to bounce back. When confidence is high, it's easy. It's easier to win. It's easier to score. It's easier to talk. It's easy to do everything in every walk of life with confidence. But when confidence is a little bit down and records are going against you and games are going against you and you're being questioned, it's big up Jersey boy. It's just becomes tougher and tougher. So I think there's a lot of factors. I want to see and I want to judge Liverpool much better, and particularly players individually, when we fans back and when we get that pre-season and we start again. At the moment, look, it's a good point because Alisson has been poor. But a lot of them have been even Thiago last season to this season. I mean, it's I wouldn't even say a shadow of him. So it's mad.
The team on a whole. Yes, very good.
I'm gonna have to bounce. I'm gonna have to bounce, guys. But big up,
yeah, Laser. I'm gonna have to go as well. But
Cheers,
Darren, just want to say cracking comments, mate. Absolutely cracking comments.
No, thanks yourself, mate.
Lovely stuff, man. Thank you very much for joining us, guys.
Thank you, Finn.
Okay, lovely. Cheers. So we got the three of us left, Daz, Stephen, Somerville. So before we go, say what you need to say, Stephen. Go ahead.
Sorry, Steve.
What I was said, Darren, what you said is completely right. But what I think a lot of people will be expecting for next season with Virgil is very much what's he going to be like next season? Because he's had this big ACL injury, which is potentially damaging, if I'm being honest with you. And you just hope that he doesn't potentially go out for long if we have a game of him next season. But he is going to stay around. I believe that there will be certain players who won't be in the squad if we're in a bad position next season. But look, if we have Virgil in there, if we have Gomez back there, they're definitely going to be injury prone. That's not to say Virgil will be injury prone, but all I would think is I wouldn't jump on the Virgil bandwagon yet. He has to prove himself for the next few games when he's back on. But I totally agree. What Virgil adds to what we do is essential to what we are as a club and what we've done. Yeah. So it's a case of
his passing range as well. We're missing his passing range, his passing ability from the back, the way how he can pick out a pass, his imposing stature. We've missed him immensely, and the team's just crumbled without him. The chopping and changing, so many different centre-back pairings as well, guys. The amount of time, tinkering we've done. And it just hasn't worked for us, the crowd situation, the COVID, as Daz said. But what we're going to do before we go... Go ahead, Stephen. Do you
know what I want for Wednesday night? You know how there won't be fans in the stadium? That's going to be heartbreaking, and this is going to be a big year night if fans were in the stadium. What I want is when the bus comes into Anfield, I just want as many fans outside as possible just to cheer them on and have the players look at the fans going, right, let's do it for them, because they'll be outside the ground and they'll be potentially in the pubs and Liverpool just cheering them on. So that's what I want for Wednesday night.
Yeah, they're going to need something. I said this the other day. I know I shouldn't be putting it in the universe, but they're going to have to like some fireworks, to show the boys that we're behind them. And it's not going to be the same. Like I stated, I did the stream with Klopp Talk TV. I would have been like at least 80% confident. I would have been, you know what? No worries. This is lightweight. We can do something. But the Anfield factor not being there is going to, and I just feel the boys are going to be under immense pressure. For me, the keys, we've got to start fast, but we've got to be very cautious as well, because all Real Madrid will do is lure us into a false sense of security, and they'll just say, you know what, we'll let Liverpool have the ball, see what they can do with it, and if we push too high up the pitch with Phillips and Kabak, they'll be exposed. One ball over the top and we'll be done for. I think we've got
have to be patient.
Welcome back, Ada. It's nice to see you. Thanks for coming back.
I'm on the laptop now. I'm on the laptop.
Much better. Yeah.
Better,
people. Yeah, man. But anyway, big up to everybody in the comments as well. Big up to LFC Red Forever. Is going to flag a comment up. What could be said is when City win the league, they will celebrate with their fans. And you know what? I couldn't care less, to be honest with you, as long as they don't win the Champions League. But the sad thing is, I agree with you to a point. We're not going to have that chance to do that. It was robbed of us last year after 30 long years, bringing a pot of gold back to Liverpool,
But you know what, Chris? Can I stop you there?
Come on,
maybe that might be an incentive for Klopp to stay even longer. Because he's going to want, even though he's won the title with us now, he hasn't had that chance to celebrate with the fans. And you know what Klopp's like? He is about the fans as well.
Of course.
I just feel I'm hoping that's an incentive for him to say, you know what? I want to stay that little bit longer to win the league again and celebrate properly with the fans, because that could only happen to Liverpool.
I know. And when you're saying a bit longer, you're saying to after his contract, because it's 2024, isn't it?
Well, hopefully it doesn't take that long before we win the next league. But hopefully.
And it's not, it's possible we can do that. I think we can come back stronger next season. It all bodes well on how we're going to finish. For me, I know this sounds bad. I've stated it many times before. I don't want to see Liverpool finish in that Conference League spot. I'm not sure what place gives it. Yeah, is it 7th? Do you know, Daz or Stephen? 7th or 8th place? Does that give you the chance to qualify? Because they're doing that new third tier Europa Conference League. We're going to be traveling to the depth of Europe. Some places we've never heard of. We're going to be playing
Thursday night
teams we've never heard of.
Yeah.
I just can't see Liverpool doing it with the squad got as well. It's going to be tough. I think we need to just wipe the slate clean. If we're not going to get top 4 or win the Champions League, wipe the slate clean. Whether it's 8th place to me, 7th, 8th, 9th or 10th, doesn't matter. Okay, we're going to get banter from rival fans, but we go again next season. We're going to have fans back in Anfield, and we just take it on the chin. It's just one of those things. Do you know what I mean? So quickly, before we go, what do you want to see change for Real Madrid? Who do you want to see coming to the side, taken out of the side? What do we need to do for the game coming up next week? Daz, Ada,
look, it's a tough one really, because we sometimes talk about you bring in this, you take out this, and then look, I'm not too pushed about who starts and who doesn't start. I'm not a big advocate for we should have played this and that. Yeah. What I want from Liverpool this week is I want to see them come out with that energy, that intensity, that drive, that passion, everything that we get at Anfield and the European. I want to see. I want to see these players do it for the fans that are not there. I want to see the players do it for Jurgen Klopp that support him. He hasn't bought superstars; he's made them superstars. I want to see these players come out and leave nothing on the field. And if we go out, we can at least turn around and say, well, do you know what? They gave it everything it wasn't to be. And I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm optimistic, I'm positive, it's how I live a life. I just think something is going to happen this week. And I think that if we get a goal up, we get an early goal. It happened against Barca, an early Origi goal. Like, because you look at Barcelona, Firmino, who was excellent that season, Salah out, and there was no way we were going to come back. And we come back. We were only 1-0 up at half time as well, by the way. We still need another 3.
And you remember, Gilly didn't start as well.
So for me, it's not about... It's not about you leave out this, you bring in this, you bring in that, because I think I started 11 players that are up for this the most and that know what to do and are going to be professional and are going to, do you know what, they're going to box clever in this game. They're going to be technically really good, but they're going to be tactically, they have it up there, like Thiago. That's the players I want to see starting, and I want to see players that are just going to be very, very patient, because in some way it's probably a lost cause because we need to win 2-0. It's going to be hard to get to and not concede. But you just don't know. We've won our first game at Anfield now. We haven't only scored 1 today. We scored 2. It's a nice little bit of momentum and confidence and belief going into it. I have a good feeling about it. But look, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. We're still the top 4, thankfully, because of today's results will go on. But what I think on paper and overall, we're better than Madrid, but they're more experienced. They know how. They're going to be patient. They're going to be calm. They're going to do what they done during the night. We just need to get some urgency, something around that. We just have to be composed, compact, and let's just come out like there's fans there. You know what I mean? Let's come out and do it. What have we got to lose? And it might suit us. Hopefully, I'm praying and hoping, but I don't know who I want. It's very controversial and debatable as to who. It's because you could say the team that played today play the same team again. That's a bit momentum.
Right. I would start Mane. I would definitely start Mane. I'll be honest with you. I know he's been poor, but I'm going off experience and what he's done over for us in the past. So for me, I'm going to start Mane. I love Firmino to bits. But I wouldn't start him. Right. I'd put Jota, Mane, and have Salah up front. That's definitely my front 3. Regarding the midfield, I think that's a tough one, really. I don't know if I'd probably play Thiago then, but am I playing him based on what he's done for Liverpool? Am I playing him based on what he's done for Bayern Munich?
Thiago has to start.
So why? All right, so you're saying Thiago's starting based on what he's done for us or what he's done for Bayern Munich?
Yeah, it's a bit of both, but I know that when this game's going to start, I know, the experience that he has, when he's playing for Bayern, he's a winner. He's a winner, and I know he's going to give it his all in this game.
He was great against Leipzig as well over the 2 legs. Yeah. He was really good in those.
Again, welcome back, Stephen. But yeah, for me personally, what I seen on the basis of the first half in the previous leg with Ronaldo, he sort of shirked away from responsibility. He didn't take
Who? Ronaldo?
Yeah, Ronaldo. Yeah, and I know this might sound country. I would start James Milner with Thiago and Fab. Fab at the base. That's me personally. I would do. Because Milner, okay, his legs might be going, he's getting on now with age, but he gives it his all. He's a winner. He's a winner for us. He's won it with things with Manchester City. I know he will give it his all. But sometimes the occasion gets the better of Ginny. Do you know what I'm saying?
This is my personal opinion, right, on that game. If we do not score a goal in the first half, I don't think we've got a chance. That's just my personal opinion. I could be wrong. But for whatever reason, we're struggling to score in the first half.
Yeah, I know.
We are struggling. We're making things extra hard come first half. So if we get that early goal against Real Madrid, I think we've got a chance, because if we beat them 2-0, we're through.
That's it.
And 2-0 is realistic. You see the difference from this season and when we won the Champions League, when we beat Barcelona 4-0. There's a massive difference. We've got no crowd. There's no talk, man. And I think that is definitely a massive disadvantage for us and an advantage for them, because they're going into this game. I'm not saying it's a neutral, but it's kind of. It is at Anfield, isn't it? It is not a neutral fan. It is Anfield. I just want to make sure. All right. So there's no kind of advantage really, as far as I'm concerned, because there's no fans there. So if we score early, I think we've got a chance, but. Before the Real Madrid game, I did state that I don't think we'd win, and I don't think we'd get through. If I'm being totally honest with you, I did state that. I'm not trying to be the bearer of bad news. Hopefully I'm wrong. I really do hope I'm wrong, but I'm not confident, because I just feel this team is just not good enough. That's my personal opinion. I hope I'm wrong. And I think it's more down to defense and how we play. No. I'm not trying to be Mr. Negative. No. It's just how I feel, you see. Yeah, and how the season's gone.
Yeah. Football is a funny old game. We've seen worse teams win the Champions League. I don't know if you remember. Look at 2012 Chelsea. When they won it, they went against a world-class Bayern Munich team. They beat them in their own.
Barca in the semi.
Yeah, you remember they had a depleted squad.
It was over for them and
very depleted squad. So it can be done, as you stated, and we've stated many times, the Anfield crowd. I'm just hurt because we haven't got the troops, the 12th man. Stephen, I know you had a bit of problems earlier, and I appreciate you coming back. We just were talking about Madrid, as you heard. What would be your team? How would you see? How should Klopp go about this game?
Thiago has to start for me. Keita didn't do nothing in that first half for me last week to prove that he can start again. So I mean, Thiago starts full stop along with Gini and Fabinho, and also I would have the front three of now. People are going to probably go at me for this, but I think Firmino has to start along with Mane and Salah, because I think Firmino adds something to European games that makes it work. I think Jota will work coming off the bench. But I think Jota was a bit iffy last week against Real Madrid, if I'm being honest with you. So I think having Mane and Salah and Firmino might help that a wee bit. So that's my starting 11.
So you're saying you'd play Firmino over Jota? Are we losing 3-1 and we need goals? Because Firmino's, again, I hope I'm wrong, but Firmino doesn't bode well for goals right now. He's not scoring goals.
I did get that, but I think Firmino adds something to the European games that a lot of people don't seem to take notice of. So I wouldn't mind Jota starting at all. That's fine. Jota for me would start definitely next week if they picked him. I wouldn't mind that at all. But
what about starting the forward and put Firmino in a 10 and let the three lads? You need goals, but then I suppose you've no one really then clinical to come on. The security of.
But who would you sacrifice in midfield? Firmino then? Who would you sacrifice in midfield to play Firmino? And is that fair?
Not really, but it's a difficult one. It really is. But that's why I had said I'm happy just once he goes for the 11 players that are going to give it absolutely everything that night and are going to be direct, are going to go. But also, it's all well and good going direct and going for goal, but be patient and have it up there. And I think, it's the question is who is going to do that? It's a once-off game. It's not as if it's over consistency. So on a once-off game, James Milner experience sets the tempo. He sets that drive, that professionalism. You could say there's an argument that he should start. You could say there's an argument that you go with the forward up front or you leave Jota on the bench. Because Jota, to be fair, has been more effective when he's come on in games this season than he has started. He started against Real. He didn't ask any questions. No one really did apart from Salah. And that was only for the first 10 minutes of the second half. So it's a tough one, lads. I'd struggle now to really because, as I said, it's a once-off game. Like, you're not talking about a Premier League game and over the course of time. Who for Liverpool in a once-off game, practically a final. It's at Anfield. There's no fans. Do you want?
Do you know? I think that's going to go front three. I think he's going to go back to the originals. I think he's going to go
play
Mane,
safe.
Yeah, Firmino, and Salah. That's what I think he's going to do.
I actually think it'll be the right thing to do, as Stephen alluded to, because Firmino's got more experience. He could link up the players well.
Yeah.
We know he's not scoring goals this season. You know, this is a one-game affair, so it's like a final for us. You know, we know the goals are going to come most likely from Salah or Mane. You know, I would love Firmino to score in that game, but I think as a wild card option, I think maybe Jota may be better coming off the bench for this game.
I think he will.
I think he would be better. I do, man. So
I think the midfield is going to be Thiago. I think Thiago. I think Ronaldo and Fabinho. That's what I think.
As long as Keita's not there, because I think,
like you said,
Naby. I love the guy, but I'm not.
Yeah.
He's done nothing for Liverpool. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Just a quick one before we close, guy. I know this is like not to do with the game and that. Daz, like, because I haven't really heard you speak about what is your thoughts on Naby, like how he's been for Liverpool the three seasons?
His availability. He's at Liverpool now. This is his third full season, and he's made just over 50 appearances. Now, there's players out there that have made more appearances in one season than what he's made in three. So his availability has been really poor, but that's due to injury. Now, this latest injury, I know the sports science and the Liverpool medical team have taken the time on it. It's a muscle injury, it's reoccurring, and they're bringing him back longer than what he was expected. It's last chance saloon for Naby, because when he started against Real, it was the first start he'd had in a while, and it was a good chance for him to express and conduct what he can do, and we've seen nothing of it. He was pulled off. Now, Jurgen came out and defended him. I think it was because he was so poor and said it was tactical. Today he doesn't start or come on. I just think with Naby, if he's always unavailable because of injury, that's not a good thing, because we need availability. But then when he's given the chance and he's not making amends either, because with Naby Keita, he's a baller. He gets goals, assists. He's unbelievable on the ball. He's very, very good with dragging the ball forward. But he's not doing it consistently. And technique and having that technical ability is one thing, but you need the attitude. You need to conduct yourself. You need to have that intensity. You need to have that patience. That kind of you need to have more. And for me, I think he lacks that side of it as a Liverpool player. And it's a shame. It's a shame, because I really like Naby Keita. I really like him.
He will cut it at Liverpool. I don't think his body's built for the Premier League.
He's had enough chance. Real Madrid was his chance last week, and he didn't take it. He was dragged off at half time for a reason.
Yeah, before half time.
If Thiago starts from the start, you see a more passionate Liverpool with more attack and play, whether it be a draw or when we could have got it. But Naby, just for me, he's had enough chances, and for me, I think he has to be sold in the summer, and that's just my opinion on him.
Ada, what you think?
Yeah, I'd sell him. I'd happily sell him, because he can't stay fit, and I just think his injury, he's always been injured, and that should class as an ability, if that makes sense. Because he's always injured, he's just not good enough. So for me, I'd definitely get rid of him. He's been here long enough, and I can't really think of one Naby highlight. I can't think of one. He's done nothing as far as I'm concerned. So for me,
it's usually been the games with the teams we're expected to beat. Do you know what I mean? With all the cruising, the Bournemouth, the Aston Villa last season.
Bournemouth away, he played in a good game and he scored. But there's I can't count on one hand how many times he's been. I'd say yes, he's just let us down so many. And it's not probably his fault if it's injury. Do you know what I mean? But it's unfortunately we haven't got time for players, even like a Matip, that they're just not available enough. And the good thing with Matip is when he comes in, he's brilliant. It's like as he was never out injured. But with Naby, I can't say that, because he's just not performing it. It's consistency and injuries are letting them down. That's because of it.
Yeah, but guys, appreciate you for coming along. It's
Cheers,
been a great discussion, and hopefully we get the job done. So don't forget, guys, as well, sub to the respective channels, give them a follow. Don't forget to sub to Daz TV. He's just recently set up his YouTube channel. He's just hit over 200 subs, puts in amazing work and content. Do that, and I hope to have you on the stream again, Ada, as well.
Yeah. I've sorted it all out now. I've got the laptop now, so I'm all right.
Stephen, thanks for coming along. Guys, you never walk alone.
Cheers, lads.
All
the best, boys.
Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'm out.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye.